Hi, my name is Valuch. I'm with Ushahidi Haiti project based at Fletcher School in Boston at Tufts University. And I would like to just briefly tell the story of Ushahidi Haiti project. We deployed, actually our colleague Patrick Meyer deployed Ushahidi a couple of hours after the earthquake in Haiti. And the idea was to start collecting, aggregating the information that was out there in the air, started collecting the information and visualizing it on a public Ushahidi map. So what we started doing, we started monitoring any available sources of information that were there. Blogs, Twitter, tweets, Facebook profiles, local media, mainstream media, international media. So, because after such disasters, the problem is not that there wouldn't be information around, but the problem is that the information is scattered all around, all over the place. So if you are actually able to aggregate this information, put it on one place and visualize it, you can see, you can get an idea of what's actually the situation, you can get the picture of what's the situation on the ground. And it's basically a concept of crowdsourcing crisis information. The problem is that not everything can be done by technology yet, and you need a lot of people to do it. So what we had to do within hours and days after the earthquake, we had to mobilize hundreds of volunteers to do the monitoring of the sources of information and to do the mapping. And it's not a new thing, but the maps of Haiti at that time were really, really poor. And it was a big problem for the whole humanitarian community, because you simply, if you want to target assistance, if you want to provide help on the ground, without a good map, you are simply not effective. And so this was probably the biggest challenge for the team. We were spending sometimes hours trying to identify some locations using satellite imagery, and we were using Lonely Planet guidebooks when we needed to identify, for example, collapsed hotels. So this was a challenge. And well, luckily OpenStreetMaps were there, and thanks to OpenStreetMap initiative, the maps were getting better and better from hour to hour, day to day. So pretty soon after the earthquake, we were able to use OpenStreetMaps, and it helped us a lot. So we were more effective. I mean, we were able to map the incidents more quickly. And I would say I would split the Ushahidi Haiti story into two stories. One story is before the short code 4636, and the second story is after announcing the short code 4636. Those first 4 to 5 days, we were monitoring. As I said, we were monitoring the sources of information, and the information that comes from Twitter or different Twitterers is sometimes not reliable. You know, the information is being retweeted many times, and you never know who's actually the original source. And but what happened is, if you start aggregating this information onto a map from different sources, then you see the clusters of incidents, which helps you to identify the locations. So in this first period, thanks to this collection of information, we were able to put together a list of GPS coordinates of locations that were most heavily affected. Collapsed hospitals with people still alive under the rubble, IDP sites, etc. And very soon we were providing these GPS coordinates to the search and rescue teams on the ground. So this was the initial period, and then thanks to the partners in the collaboration effort, which was called Mission 4636, we were able to get the short code 4636, so phone number where people could text messages for free. We got it from Jaslav, which is the main telco in Haiti. And that was a big difference, because we immediately started getting hundreds and thousands of messages from the people, from the affected population. So we had to focus all our capacity. We stopped monitoring the other sources of information, because text messages coming from the people were the best source of information you could get at that time. And we were facing a lot of challenges. First of all, it was a lot of messages, so we had to design the whole workflow around this. We need to recruit more and more volunteers, and we had difficulties because, for instance, if you want to be processing the messages on the Ushahidi platform, At that time, you needed admin access to the backend of the site, and obviously you don't want hundreds of people having admin access, people who are all around the world. You don't want all the people have the access to the backend of the site. So it was a big challenge how you can do that, and that's when the crisis camp helped. There was a crisis camp at the Tufts University after the earthquake, and we quickly introduced the guys who came to the crisis camp, introduced what our challenges are, how our system works, and the difficulties we are facing. And in the end of the day, they came up with a bunch of really interesting ideas and solutions. Some of the ideas were great, but at that time we were in emergency period, so we didn't have time to think through all these great ideas. But there was one really useful thing. One of those guys, Ian, he basically designed within a day ticketing system, which really helped us to be more effective in processing the messages. The ticketing system enabled all those hundreds of volunteers to start processing the messages even without the admin access. So that was definitely great support that made all the workflow more effective. And one of the other challenges and one of the lessons learned is also the fact that we actually didn't have pre-established networks and protocols and links to the humanitarian responders. So that was something that we had to do during implementation of the project. And fortunately, we were contacted by US Coast Guard, who told us, like, hey guys, you have a really great data stream, great source of information. We want a separate RSS feed that will go directly to us, and we have the capacity on the ground to take action on the reports you are providing. So that was just great, because we found ideal partner, so that we had data streams, information coming from the people on the ground, and we had a responder who was taking action on this. And actually it was also Greg Fugate from FEMA, who on the 23rd of January said that Ushahidi Haiti is the best available map for humanitarian responders in Haiti. So for us it was a great support, because it's a big responsibility if you ask the population that is in a really desperate situation, if you ask them to send you the information about their needs, and we were not the responders. We were volunteer students at Tufts University, so we needed this kind of support from people who are experienced in the emergency situation and disaster management. Telling us like that it actually makes sense to do the work we were doing, basically mapping the crisis information. And right now we are in the stage that we are really in the process of lessons learned, actually really looking back and trying to go deep into all the things that happened those days, and trying to identify what went well and what went wrong. And we are preparing guidebooks, handbooks for the whole community, so that the community can learn from our lessons in Haiti. And we are also right now having a big discussion. What's if another major disaster strikes? What's gonna happen? And we have a lot of feedback from UN OCHA and from other humanitarian responders that they would like to see the Ushahidi system, the Ushahidi map, there next time. And there is a lot of expectations, and there's a lot of responsibility coming with that. And what we are right now having, the discussion we are having is actually who should be the one who's deploying this platform in another major disasters. And I don't know if it's going to be us, the team that is now at the Tufts University at Fletcher School, but what it looks like, and that's where I see the potential of CrisisCommons community, because we see that the best way how to deploy these tools is if it's deployed by the local community. If there's a capacity on the ground who can deploy these tools with the support of the whole international community, CrisisCommons community, or tech community, humanitarian community, whatever it is. And this is what we see as a model, like, going forward. Local capacity, local group, local organization, deploying deploying these tools in a case of disaster.